Hey guys, it is me, Des here. Welcome back to another episode of the bonus Layton content. Last time we looked at this, well, not that one, we looked at the one on the left. Man, the cursor in this game is kind of glitchy at times. I guess in the Switch version, because it obviously isn't designed for this control scheme. But anyway, last time we looked at Cold Stream Conundrum, and we're going to continue in our series of looking at all of the daily puzzles. And we're going to have a look at the first 10 puzzles in Scarecrow coverage. The birds are feasting on the field, set up the scarecrows so they cover every last inch of the acreage. So what kind of difficulty range are we dealing with here? Yeah, again, it's between 2 and 3. It starts to get up to 4 just at number 11, but we're not going to be doing number 11 as part of this. We are just going to be having a look at Scarecrow coverage. Alright. So, what's this one? It's probably going to be another facsimile of like some kind of grid-based puzzle, some kind of grid-based like magazine puzzle. Make sure the Scarecrow's cover the whole field. Press and hold A to mark out each Scarecrow's area, which covers as many squares as the number on the Scarecrow. Okay, so this is yeah, this is another Nikoli puzzle. I don't know. I don't know if Nikoli had like a hand in like this in like some of the puzzle design of this game.
You'll entertain my idea here.
I don't know how stringent the licensing is on Nikoli puzzle. I don't know the name of this either. I'll put it in the description below because it's another one that I recognise as being it's a puzzle where you essentially have a grid with numbers just like this. It's not usually themed on the theme of skeletons. Sorry, not skeletons. Yeah, definitely skeletons. It's not usually themed with scarecrows, but it is usually it is the same puzzle in principle.
Thank goodness I got that.
It's not one that I've played a lot of, to be honest. It's not one of the ones that I did mainly back when I was like hyper addicted to Nikoli puzzles. But alright, so that's a 9, so that's got to go like that. And with that, then that just follows that those have to go around. But it's definitely one. Yeah, it's definitely one that I recognise. So here we go. Let's go. Let's go. We've got the first 10 to do. We are 3 already. 3 in already, and I've only just pretty much finished the opening sentence. So the trick to this one is to find ones that can only be done in one way. So, for example, this 9, that can be done in 2 ways. It can be done there, or it can be done there. So that's not a good starting point. That 5, though, the only way to do that 5 is a 1 by 5, because that's the only factors of 5. So with that, you know that 9 can't be true, so that 9 has to be there, so that 3 has to be there, so that 6 has to be there, so that 2 has to be there. It follows very logically. If you can find it, like a lot of these like Nikoli puzzles, if you can find a starting point, especially for the easy ones, the rest just flows. And then beyond that, it is working up those the different cases that you can run into. So, for example, this 6 one definitely has to be that. As we start to get more complicated ones, actually with these puzzles it gets quite interesting because rather than looking at the numbers that can be done in certain ways, you have to start looking at the empty tiles that can be covered in certain ways, because the whole grid has to be covered. So if there's ever a square that can only match one of the numbers, then it has to be that. I'll see if I can find an example in this one, actually. So that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I can't really find an example in this one, unfortunately. This one's quite a hard one to find a starting point on, actually. So this 6 can be done a couple of ways. Quite a few different ways, actually. But, like, for example, that's we can rule that out, because then that can't be covered by anything. That's a maybe. That's a maybe. I'm struggling on this one. There's a starting point that that can definitely be figured out. I mean, this 3. All right, we can also look at partials. So we know that 3 has to be 1 by 3, so it can't be that way. So those 2 have to be in that 3. There's no way. There's no other way than that. So that can't be possible. Now that could be. What other 6s are there? There's that, but that's impossible. There's that, and that's possible. So the only 2 possibilities for 6 are that and that. Now, based on that, that square has to be part of that 6. I might be overcomplicating this, but this is this way that I'm starting this at. That has to be part of that 6. There's no other way than that, because the only 2 possibilities are that, and that's a common one for both of them. Which means that that 4 cannot be like that. So that 4 can't be a 2x2, because there's no space for that. So it has to be 1x4, which means that those 3 have to be part of that 4. And that's kind of where I've got to at the moment. So those 2 have to be part of that. Those 3 have to be part of that. I'm going to go into memo mode because I'm drawing a mental picture at the moment and it's not working. So those 3 have to be part of the same thing. Those 3 have to be part of the same thing. That has to be part of that. What else can we say about this? Actually, no, I can solve it just because of the grid size. There might be a rule that I don't know here, actually. Because of the grid size, I could just solve that through in my head, but...
This puzzle's got some bite.
Yeah.
Too easy.
I didn't quite solve that with logic, which is unfortunate. So if we get that same situation in a larger grid, that might be more difficult to deal with. Anyway... Scarecrow coverage number 7. Oh boy. We are not messing around. Okay, those all have to be part of that. That's the only way that can be done. So that's got to be like that. That's got to be like that. That's got to be like that. That 6 has to be like that. So that can be like that. That can be like that. Has to be like that. Has to be like that. Has to be like that. That has to be like that. Has to be like that. Has to be like that. That.
Get those little
Yeah, they're getting a little bit more complicated now.
See?
But they're still not too bad.
Sometimes.
And I'm quite excited. I'm not sure where I want to go after the first 10 because I want to do like little showcase videos of these videos. I want to do these little bonus videos of the actual individual puzzles themselves. That's got to be there. But then, I don't know if I'm going to do future videos in this bonus series. Maybe we'll do like one of each as part of it. Or maybe we'll wait till 20 are out for each one. I don't know. Whatever I end up doing is going to be whatever ends up happening. By definition.
Blimey, this is hard work.
Blimey, this is hard work, isn't it?
Fell into place somehow.
The birds fleece on the field. Alright. Oh, literally, the puzzle solution text is the same as the puzzle intro text. Which feels a little bit lazy, I gotta be honest. But, you know. Whatever. I understand, like, they're daily puzzles. You can't put a lot of effort into them, but... I mean, at least have 2 different texts. Just saying, you know? It's gotta be there. What's the next thing? That's got to be there, so that's got to be there. That's there. That has to be. That's the only way you can do that. And then that's the only way you can do. Wait, yes, that.
This puzzle's got some bite.
I love how they've like animated all of the costumes as well, or they seem to have. The Sherlock outfit is definitely. You can also like you can kind of date when I recorded these by by what the costume they're wearing, I guess. All right, puzzle number 164. Oh, this looks like a fun one. Well, that can go there. That's gonna have to be not necessarily, because that could be that as well. Alright, let's start tackling from a different side then. Because that could be there. Same situation here where it could be there or there. That's got to be there. Which means, yeah, that's definitely not going to be down. That's got to be there. See, that's got to be there because that one can't be covered by any other. So that's kind of the case that I was talking about earlier. case where, like, easy versions of this, you're just looking at the numbers, whereas harder versions, you have to start looking at what can cover things. So that one has to be covered by that. That's got to be there. That's got to be there, there. I hope they don't get too much harder. I think these are the 3-star ones now, so at least they are deserved in their hardness, in their difficulty. And that's it. That was number 10. All right. So that's the second puzzle. That is the Scarecrow coverage. Again, it is based on a Nikoli puzzle. I don't have the name to hand, but I've put it in the description because it's definitely a very recognisable puzzle, and there are plenty more that you can find online if that's your kind, if that's something you're interested in. Thank you guys for watching. Next time we will have a look at this one. It looks very culinary. In fact, the next two look very culinary. See you guys.